FiredUp Network of Blue Jay Strike Zone with the grizzled young veteran, yes, Marty Roberts. And by the way, Marty, who am I? What's my name?
Joseph.
But in Spanish, what's my name?
Joey.
Jose.
Jose.
Yeah, Jose Barrios, the best game in a Blue Jay uniform by far. 7 innings, and he struck out 8. He had command of his fastball, command of all pitches. And what do you say? The MVP so far in I would say the last week, Danny Johnson. All right, Alejandro Kirk, another Mexican guy, reminds me of a out of shape East York manager. Wouldn't you agree?
First, Barrios had 9 strikeouts, not 8. So you can't chip him as 1 strike.
All right.
But he had 9 tonight, right? And you're right. Barrios threw 97 miles an hour touched tonight. That's not, Barrios isn't 97 mile an hour guy, but he was feeling it tonight. Went 7 innings, walked the batter. I think in his last inning he walked the batter. So he had all this stuff going. And Danny Jansen, man, he's caught fire. And to boot, he was still blocking balls that were bouncing in the dirt.
Blocking balls instead of never mind. But Marty, right? I gotta say this. Your sound is worse than Norm Rumack's. You may want to take away for 2 seconds while I'll stall for time here, but your sound is very, very bad right now. Very bad. Worse than Rumack and his. Never mind. All right. So, by the way, the Blue Jays really do a number on the White Sox tonight. Barrios, you're right, had 9 strikeouts. The Blue Jays winning 7-0. Danny Johnson, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, or 3-run shot. A great team effort. Remember, tomorrow's game, going for the sweep, starts at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. tomorrow. Marty, let's see if your mic is better.
Is it working better now?
No, it's not. It's worse than Norm. So you may want to come back here and all that. Just go out and come back while I'll
you hear me now?
Give a. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
It's distorted a little bit. It's a little bit distorted, like Norm's the mic when he's on here.
I don't want to be like Norm. Continue on, Joseph.
Sorry?
Continue on. I'll be right back.
All right. So while Marty comes back, I'll give you a scoreboard update in the National Hockey League. 4 minutes left to go in the third period. The Islanders, who are down 3-1, lead the Carolina Hurricanes 3-2. Dallas Stars, with 1 minute left to go in the second, lead the Minnesota Wild. The series tied up at 2, but they lead the Minnesota Wild 3-0. And, of course, at 9:30, the LA Kings and Edmonton Oilers in Edmonton. Hopefully Marty's back now. Let's see, Marty. Let's test out your test it 1, 2, 3.
How does that sound, Joseph?
That's better. That's better.
All right.
That's better. All right.
I can't be in the category of Mr. Rumack. I just can't.
Well, I'm not. Leave his balls alone. All right. So talk about balls and strikes to me. Steel balls. Well, Barrios was pitching like Steele's balls. All right. So not a lot of balls he was throwing, a lot of strikes, and we were talking. Look at the rotation the last week. Manoah came alive. Gosman, Kikuchi, now Barrios there, and Nate Pearson pitched a little bit, and Nate Pearson got into the night's game and everything like that.
I think that's the 7th straight game that the starting rotation has allowed 2 or less runs. Going back to when Gosman threw poorly against, I think it was Houston. He was against. After that, the next 7, everyone's throwing 2 or less earned runs in their time. And I think they're going 6 and 7 innings now too, right? So yeah, that's what you want from your starting rotation. Manoah, like you said, threw well the last time out. He can build off of that. Gosman's just being Gosman. He does what he's supposed to do. Barrios has come up. It tells you how bad his first 2 outings were when he's still got an ERA of 4.7 after throwing 3 really good games in a row here.
All right.
And then Pearson getting in tonight. You're right. Pearson, touched 100 miles an hour. First battery plucks him in the back, but then he gets the ground out, pop up, and then strikes out Benintendi on a curveball. If Pearson can find it, he will be a big add for the Jays in the back end of that bullpen. because his arm is lively. There's no question about it. Like it's a lively arm, and he's worked a lot on the slider and the curveball to go with that, 99, 100-mile-an-hour fastball. So if he can find that, they're pretty deep in that bullpen when you add him in there. And then, like I've said before, once July comes around, Chad Green is hopefully healthy. There's going to have to be some moves here. I know that, Meza has some options left. Simber has options left. So there could be some moves to put guys down with their options.
So, as you were fighting with Billy here, you said 95 wins for the season for the Blue Jays. Billy says 84, but the Blue Jays are now 15-9. All
Yep.
right. So if they get 95 wins, they need to win 80 out of 140 left. That's a 550%. Billy, 80 out of 140, maybe 139, whatever, how many ever games they play, but 80 out of 139.
Yeah, and they still, I don't think, truthfully, have found their groove yet. I really don't. Like Springer had a couple hits tonight. He was batting just over 200. Varsho hasn't got hot yet. We've seen Danny's just getting going. Belt still hasn't gotten going. So there's still some guys here that have to get going with the bats, and they're still 15-9. And like I've said before, this is only their 7th game or 8th game at home now.
Yes.
So it was big for them to be 2 games over, 3 games over 500 on the road, and now come back home to the Rogers Center. That's a big help with this team, and we'll see. Like 14-9, Tampa Bay still 20-3. I think they're losing tonight, so they'll be 20-4 after the loss to the Astros tonight. At least they were losing. Who knows? They might have come back and won that. But I know they were losing. I believe it was 5-0 at the time when I last looked.
So let's see Tampa.
And that's another team, Tampa Bay. Glasnow's been out. I don't think he's throwing yet. So once he comes back,
Tampa lost 5-0.
5-0.
And another, I dare I say it, it's bottom of the 8th, so it's still an inning to go. But Minnesota all over the Yankees again, 6-2. So
yeah, and Cortez started today. I don't know how long he went. I know it was 2-2 with him and Ryan into the 7th inning. But Yankees, they have some injuries there that are obviously hurting them. Stanton's out again. Their starting rotation, I believe there's only 3 of the 5 that are supposed to be in there. The other 2 guys are injured. So it seems to be the same way every year with the Yankees. They get injured, but they always are there at the end of it. So kudos to them to have guys that come in and fill in all the time. And that's what the Jays need. If someone goes down, they need someone to come up and step up and keep them around if an injury happens.
So yes, the Blue Jays began their home portion, taking 2 out of 3 from the Tigers and 2 out of 3 from Tampa. Already taken 2 from the White Sox. Hopefully they sweep the White Sox, because every time 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. And then they have an off day Thursday, which is a good thing, because Thursday, I don't know if you know, there's a little hockey game at the Scotiabank Arena, a little hockey game that hopefully will send Billy and Heavy Hitter and Norm Rumack and all that to Maple Leaf Square to see what's going on, right? To see what's going on. And Friday, Billy is rolling out the red carpet for Teoscar Hernandez, Seattle coming back. If they want to show they mean business, they pound Seattle 8-0 and keep the lead and all that. Look forward to that weekend series against Seattle. But the Blue Jays, because of the renovations, you're right. They started, 15, 16 games already on the road.
Yep.
And, that's, a quarter of your road schedule already. And if you look at it, they already gone to Anaheim, right? It's a West Coast trip and all that. So, the Blue Jays are looking, and like I said to you before, 80 left out of 138 or something like that. I think it's highly possible.
Yeah, there's, as long as they stay healthy, they keep doing what they're supposed to be doing here with the starting rotation. The guys at the top of this order stay hot. Like I said, Springer, 3 hits tonight. He was batting .201 going into the game. So if we can get those guys going, and with the defense, that's the big thing that, a lot of people are upset. Yes, that Hernandez is gone, but when you add it Kiermaier, Varsho, and allowed Springer to move to right field, there's plays that are being made that are outs now that would be singles, doubles, triples, and run scoring if we had the other two guys in the corner. So that's a big ad. We saw tonight Springer go back on the ball on the one track, caught it on the run.
Over the shoulder.
If Hernandez was there, who knows? That might have been, turned into a double or a triple. So that's a big thing with this team was they Atkins had a vision of we need to get better in the outfield defensively. That was his priority right there, was defense. He thinks that he has enough offense to win. I got to take care of the defense, and he did that. And at the same time, he got, Varsho back that, like I said, could hit 20, 25 home runs, and Kiermaier, who will just get on base and allow the guys at the top of the order to bring him in. Now, did you see Kiermaier today after he hit the triple?
And he
throw his batting gloves to the kid in the front there.
And he made a fan for life.
Yeah, so, the kid just was absolutely in love after that. Like, he was wearing a Donaldson jersey. I bet you tomorrow he's out and he has himself a Kiermaier jersey.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a nice touch by Kiermaier, one of the newest Blue Jays there. And he has a history of doing stuff in Tampa, right? So,
well, and that's the thing. Like, we talked to Steve about that before. You don't really get to see players in other cities how they truly are until they're with you. And if Kiermaier did this with Tampa and he's still doing it here, you know what, that's stuff we missed out on with Tampa. We only saw him taking the card and giving it back to cash. That's what we see him as. Whereas, he seems to be a great guy. The team seems to have loved him. And we don't see that. We don't see guys we just see from the outside and we think that guy's a goof or a jerk. Meanwhile, so far, he's been a great dude.
All right, Marty, I got a skill testing question here.
Uh-oh.
If you look at the top three record-wise in Major League Baseball right now, which are Tampa, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, right? The payrolls, number 29, 27, and 28. There's 30 teams in baseball, meaning the 3-team payrolls that are first place right now make up one payroll of the New York Yankees or Dodgers. Now, we talk about, Billy makes fun of Norm and all that, the Tampa Bay Rays or whatever, but, Tampa's a given. Let's call a spade a spade every year. But coming out of there, Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and Baltimore is going to spend. They're in the American League East. They're going to spend either this year, next year, or the year after. But those 3 top teams now, and when I talk about top 3, 20 and 4 now, Tampa. What is it? Pittsburgh's, I think, winning tonight. They're 16-7, and Baltimore. These guys, already positioned themselves to be in the wild card or chase a pennant there. Well, maybe not Baltimore because Tampa is in that division, and Blue Jays are not far off, 15-9, but Blue Jays are spending. But talk about the 3 teams that are like Norm Rumack, cheapskates, and still come through.
Well, like you said, Tampa, for some reason, has a great scouting department, front office, scouting. They just know how to find guys. And then when guys become good and they're going to get that long extension, they trade them away for even younger guys that become better guys. So that's always that thing that Tampa's always done since they come into the league. And everyone looks and they don't spend, but they always win. Pittsburgh's off to a good start. I don't know if you'll necessarily see them up there, but they have some good guys, and they got McCutcheon back to help those young guys get through there. So there's some young teams here that don't spend money that are up there right now. Will they stay there? I don't know. We'll see. We didn't think Baltimore was going to stay there last year, right? And they stayed up there. And what did we say at the beginning of this year? Baltimore can't do it again. There's no way Baltimore's doing it again. And look, sometimes that's what happens when you have these young guys that come into the big leagues. They want to prove they deserve to be there. They're not intimidated. They're not scared, and they go out there and they do. And that's what Baltimore has shown again this year. They're doing it again, and Pittsburgh as well. So
we talk about Tampa. We talk about Tampa, and kudos to Tampa. But as we talk about Tampa with Norm Rumack, your mic again is becoming like Rumack's. So you know what we're gonna do here? I'm going to ask you one question, and then we'll close off a short version of Strike Zone here. They go for the sweep tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Kikuchi on the mound here. Kikuchi's 3-0. 3-0. All right. Does he make it 4-0?
I don't know if he makes it 4-0, but I know that the Jays win tomorrow as well.
So you're saying Jays win, but you don't know if Kikuchi. Go on the line and say Kikuchi will get the win.
You know what? They're going to win. Kikuchi's obviously found what he needs to find. It's just a matter afternoon game. Can they sweep Chicago? It'll be interesting to see, but I think they win tomorrow. Is Kikuchi good enough to get the W, or at least go till the sixth inning when the Jays decide to pull away with it? We'll see. I expect Kikuchi to keep doing what he's been doing, throwing strikes, being confident on the mound, knowing that he deserves to be there and he can get anyone out that he faces.
All right. Remember, the Blue Jays go for the sweep. And remember, Thursday is our flagship show of the Fired Up Network, Fired Up Live. Listen to this, Marty. Ominous song there, but if you know anything, you know whose song it is, and he will make, it's a he, it will make is it a debut? Is it an appearance? Is it the most electrifying thing you'll see on the Fired Up Network ever? We don't know. Marty, we have a question before we go. You said 90, it says, and I don't know who this is, but you said 95 wins. Are you confident in that? And if they win 95, shouldn't they win the AL East?
I'm confident in
what would it take to win? How many games would it take to win the AL East? Considering Tampa's, let's say 21-3, they're 20-4.
Well, heck, if we're going off of what they are, it's going to take 135 wins to win the division, right? If we go off what Tampa's doing, but I think 95 is, I think 97 wins this division. I really do. I think 97 wins this division. So that means I would have said 95 would have been good for the division win. I would have. But with Tampa jumping out 20-4 start, that's putting them up in the level of 100-win territory.
That's right, 35-5. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be up in 100-win territory. And there's, I've talked to a couple of my buddies. They think the Jays are going to win 100. They may very well. They could win 100 games.
Again, Billy says there's no way they're going to win 95. They're already 15-9. So you minus 15 from the 95, that's 80. And what is it? 123. So 80 and 123 games left. That means 80-43, something like that. Something like that. So that can happen. It can happen.
It could happen. And like I said, injuries are going to play a part. Do they stay healthy? They're pretty. Starter rotation has been pretty good health-wise over their career. These guys, if they can stay healthy, bullpen stays healthy, and they get a couple guys in there to help out, whether it's Green and Pearson that can fix a couple holes in the bullpen. Garcia figures out a little bit more, and then Springer and guys like Kiermaier can stay healthy. Yeah, 95 is a for sure, I would say. But if a guy goes down, if a guy like Chapman goes down, well, then we're left with Espinal at third base.
Bring back Kelly Gruber. No. All right, so that's Marty Roberts. You can reach Marty. I'll say it, Marty. Old Lefty 22 on Twitter. And Marty, of course, yesterday we've done the Maple Leafs Forever. Today, Blue Jays Strike Zone. Tomorrow, I don't know what we're gonna do. Thursday is Fired Up Live, so Thursday is the big game, so we'll do a Maple Leafs Forever. Maybe tomorrow we'll do the recap of the 1:00 game. The Blue Jays, you say, sweeping the Chicago White Sox, and then they fire the manager and bring back Charlie Montoyo as the new White Sox manager. But I digress with that. Stay tuned for more great programming here on the Fired Up Network. Also, Marty, on Mometu. Also on Roku TVs. Also on Amazon Fire TVs, as well as many other Samsung TV Plus and many others. So check it out. Marty, Billy, myself, Norm. Norm, who wants to see his face? They want to see Norm's balls.
More for me and you. More for me and you. That's what it is.
Yes, you read the promo very well there, very well. That's Marty Roberts. Stay tuned for more great programming here on the Fired Up Network. Thank you, Marty.